Hello and welcome live on CROW LAX TV. My name's Aiden Bolsgaard. Keenan Kenda is on the camera, and we are getting set for this Sunday afternoon Senior B action in the RMLL, this time between the home side, Fort Saskatchewan Rebels, and the visiting Rockyview Knights. It's two southern matchups this weekend for Fort Saskatchewan. Yesterday, a win over the Calgary Mountaineers in regulation. Now looking to make it a clean sweep, 2-0 on the weekend. Can they do it? We are gonna find out. Players approach center, getting ready for this opening draw. Sheridan Cook gonna be taking it for the Knights, and for the Rebels, Garen Nolsky, the St. Albert CROW alumni. Loose ball out of the draw. Josh McCallion couldn't quite control that one. Kerr tried to come in and help out. It's going to be the Knights who come up with it here. James Johnston. He'll carry that one across center himself. Over to the right side now, Johnston. Looking for an option, goes up high now. Played across, quick shot on net, and that one's going to end up just wide by Patrick Morrow all the way down the floor, and it's going to be a breakaway here for the Rebels, looking to open up the scoring quickly, and that shot's going to be missed wide of the net by Carter McAdam on the quick rush, but we have a moving pick here called against the Knights and a quick turnover back to the Rebels. That check a little bit up high that time from Jake Staggerman, but he's going to actually get on the breakaway here, cut off by the Rebels defense coming off the bench, and the Knights reset. Missed pickup that time by Matthew McKee. We'll feed that one off to the left now. Ball comes up high, a little dip and dodge inside that time from Aiden Gorst, but gets caught up in the defense and brought down to the corner. The Rebels able to recover in their own zone, but it looks like this ball is popped loose once again as it's a 3-on-2 battle in the corner. The Knights come up with it in a big stop. That time it looks to be Kyle Schmidt in the net today for the Rebels. It was the win yesterday for John McMillan. And on the other side of the floor, Tyler Lowe in the net for the Knights. The Rebels, their first solid offensive zone possession here as Ethan Peterson will lose his handle. Ball comes down to the right corner now. Wheaton going to be able to pick this one up, looking for a passing option. Goes to the inside for Kerr. He has to back off, comes to the point, lets one go, and it ends up wide of the net. And the shot clock going to expire there. 18-17 to go in the first period. 0-0 remains your score as the Rockyview Knights step back into the offensive zone. James Johnston, he's got it, steps up high, little dip and dodge, inside, lets it go, and a nice stop by Schmidt. Rebound comes out, recovered by the Rebels, and it looks to be a loose ball push called against them now. So turn over to Rockyview in the Rebels' end as they go to work trying to open up the scoring in this game from the outside. Big rip shot and a stop by Smith. Just a little bit better that time than Patrick Morrow at the point. Rebels, ball seems to be bouncing on them so far to start this game as they'll lose possession in their own end here once again, and the Knights will be able to reset, get some fresh troops on the floor. Dodge inside, and Schmidt makes another save as barreled down from behind James Johnston. No penalty upcoming as Rockyview continues to put the pressure on here. Ball comes across now. Running Rabbit fired that one across the floor, picked up swiftly by Morrow. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. A nice stick there, stepping up that time. The Rebels defense, and that'll cause the turnover. It's going to be Rebels ball in front of their own bench. Eric George steps off to pass that one on, and the Rebels get across half. George feeds that one over to the left now. Josh McCallion looking for an option as he'll feed that one over to the right side. The Rebels trying to get inside on the Knights. Basisti backs off, throws that to the opposite side of the floor. McCallion for Peterson. Peterson down to Basisti now, looking for an option. Basisti up to the shooter position. George fires that one over top of the net. 6 seconds to go. Another opportunity and off the crossbar for Eric George. Best offensive possession so far for the Rebels. 16:50 to go in the first as they recover with a fresh shot clock. George going to get in all alone. Passes that one across to Peterson. Back up high now. Moving it around. Basisti looking for an option. Has an option in McCallion. So he'll step up high. Back to Basisti. Over to McCallion once again. He spins off his man. Has some time and space. Lets it go, and a nice stop that time by Tyler Lowe. 16:29 to go in the first. Rockyview ball from their own end as they look to move up the ice. Or up the floor, I should say. Now into the offensive zone, Matthew McKee, he's got it. McKee goes back up high. Good ball movement. Here's that shot's going to get whistled a country mile wide of the net by Max Janusik. And the Rebels going to be able to head back the other way now. In transition with it, Takahara gets down up from one knee to be able to pass that one off and keep this ball alive for the Rebels. Feed across now. This one ends up down low. It's Greg Beret. He's got it. The captain for the Rebels spinning off his man, looking for an option. Feed into the middle. A quick shot and a nice stick save. That time by Lowe. Rebels recover and a quick shot again from Beret. That one catches a body and ends up wide. And we're going to say moved by a hand here, and that's going to turn it over to Rockyview. 15:41 to go now in this opening frame as Rockyview going to simply get across half and start to go to work. James Johnston, he comes to the point. Look for an option. He's hooked up high. No penalty upcoming. Refs with the whistle away so far in the first few minutes of this game. Recovered once again by Rockyview, but now stolen by the Rebels, who are going to possibly go on a bit of a run here. Nick Krywald, he's got it. Still barreling down. A quick shot there and a save by Lowe once again. And my apologies, that was actually Alex Wildeboer barreling down the floor that time to get the opportunity on Rockyview. Shots currently 4-1 in favor of the Rebels. As moving this ball around once again. Recovered in the defensive zone, almost I should say, is now Noyen trying to help out as this ball remains loose. Manages to stay out of his own crease somehow that time around, but now moving up the floor with some pace. Noyen, a little dip and dodge, gets to the proper side of the floor and feeds that one off. Wheaton couldn't control that pass, and behind his own net with it now, Jacob Berg going to try to move that one out. He does, and the stick knocked out of the hands swiftly that time of the pursuing Knight, and it's going to be the Rebels who pick this one up. Behind the back shot by George, and that misses the net. Another quick shot inside, and that's going to be a crease violation called against the Rebels. Regardless, Lowe makes a save, and back the other way now. Here come the Knights. Sheridan Cook steps across half. Slowing things down now is Rockyview as this pass off to Bryce Trimmer. Trimmer goes back to the right side of the floor, up high. The Rebels doing a good job in the last couple minutes now of not allowing Rockyview to penetrate. They had a couple great opportunities in close on Schmidt to start out this period, but now the Rebels seem to have settled this down as it's going to be a race for a loose ball back down in the Rebels zone. Play actually going to get blown dead and turned over to Rockyview as we will resume. Ball comes back up high now, gathered in by Johnston. Johnston coming up some speed, trying to go low on the Rebels, see if that seam will open up for him once again. It won't, and a big shot from the outside that time. Steered away by a Rebels defender. Rockyview recovers. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Another one there. That gets a piece of Schmidt. Rebound comes out. Recovered by the Rebels. Across half now. McCallion. He's got it. Josh McCallion going to feed that one up high now. Beret's got it. Solid offensive line out here for the Rebels now as Beret tries to go low. We'll feed that back up high. McCallion sends that one over to Basisti. Basisti trying to weave his way through. Does a little dive across the crease. Almost an opportunity in front for George, but that's going to get stolen away by the Knights. And with 13 minutes to go in the first, a break back the other way. A quick one. Shot just ends up wide of Schmidt. Penalty upcoming to the Rebels here. 6-on-5 momentarily for Rockyview with 15 seconds to go on the shot clock. Holding it now, Janusik. He'll give that one off now. James Johnston feeds that one down to the corner. Quick shot onto Schmidt, recovered by the Rebels. And now that penalty upcoming. We'll see what the signal is. It's going to be a slashing call. So first man-up opportunity of the game for Rockyview is headed to the box. For the Rebels is Dylan Kirk. 5-on-4 is the situation for the next 2 minutes at maximum, unless Rockyview is able to convert and open up the scoring in this game. Honestly, in the RMLL, it's not often you get over 7 minutes into a game and not see a goal. It's looking like a tight affair so far in the first. Let's see if someone can break the ice here as the Knights continue to move this one around. Ball comes back up high now. Good cycle here, and now some havoc being caused. There's a low shot onto Schmidt. It does get through, but recovered swiftly that time by Matt Murphy. He'll look to carry this up the floor. The count going on, though. He's going to have to just throw it, and he does. So that's the 8-second violation against the Rebels. Turned over to Rockyview, but nonetheless, the ball down in their own zone, so they had to move it up the floor, and a couple crucial seconds off the penalty kill that time for the Rebels as this ball comes back up high. Rockyview looking to move this one around, starting their power play possession slow, not really trying to cause any problems in the middle, and it seems to be only one man diving inside, so not wreaking much havoc in front of Kyle Schmidt by any means, and again, quickly cleaned up by the Rebels. A lack of movement on this power play for Rockyview, I think, is going to be the telltale so far, as now shorthanded, the Rebels look to kill off some time. Less than a minute to go on this penalty kill as Peterson will feed that one up high for McCallion. Some good shooters out there shorthanded right now for the Rebels, possibly looking for an opportunity on net. McCallion spinning his way off a couple guys, lost his possession there. Now it's going to be Rockyview who's able to pick up. The Knights trying to avoid the check of McCallion, and indeed they do now. Ball moved up the floor and across half. Aiden Gorst leaves that one swiftly for McKee. McKee with the ball on his stick now. 27 seconds to go on the power play. 15 seconds on this Rockyview shot clock. It's to the left shooter position, down to that left crease. Back up high now. And nice stick in the middle that time by Rebels defenseman, as that ball's going to end up wide. Down in the crease now, back up high. Rockyview gets the reset of the shot clock. Only 5 seconds to go on this power play, though, and it's going to be a race for the ball now. Quickly picked up by the Rebels. Back the other way, Carter McAdam. Another opportunity to get in alone, and he had the lane, didn't see it. Turns back around, makes a safe play. Back up high to Kerr. Kerr looking for an option now. We'll leave that one there for Eric George. Tricked me, actually, a little fake ball, or hidden ball trick that time by the Rebels. They do like that play, utilized it lots. Yesterday is a quick shot from the point by Beret. Ends up off the toe that time of Lowe. 10:25 to go in the period. Reset of the shot clock for the Rebels as they go to work. Quick shot in Titan. A great save once again by Tyler Lowe. As knocked to the ground now, George. Ball comes out loose. Recovered by the Rebels. Beret slowing things down. George trying to cause some problems inside that 24. It's dropped low now. Back up high. Wheaton to Beret. And that shot goes off the back of the leg. Nobody flinched, though. Some real toughness out there. There's less than 10 minutes to go now in the first. Ball comes loose into the middle now. Beret able to pick that up once again. 4 seconds on the shot clock, and that shot looked like it possibly caught Low up high a little bit, but looks no worse for wear as Rockview recovers on the rebound and look to head back up the floor. Still 0-0 over halfway through this opening frame. If you're double watching like me right now as well, the Edmonton Oilers leading their game 5-1 over the Dallas Stars. Less than 10 minutes to go in that game as well. Rockyview moving this one around, trying to break the ice in this game is now a great opportunity on net. Schmidt able to make the stop once again as this ball comes down to the left corner. Looking for an option now. Rockyview resetting here once again. Bryce Trimmer, he's got it, moves that into the middle that time. Couldn't quite connect with his man, in a back-in violation that time from the Rebels. And this ball is going right back to Rockyview. But we're going to have a little goalie water session right now. You're going to see that at about the halfway mark of every single period in this game. It's not cool in the Dow Centennial Center by any means. And with playing a summer sport comes some heat. The goalie's a lot of equipment on as of right now, and they're going to need to cool down with a little bit of water, and I need to cool down as well, as lots is going on. But it is time for me to tell you about that the Battle of the Border is back this September in Missoula, Montana. Tour the beautiful University of Montana campus, learn about the CROW LAX program, and full ride scholarships available for Canadians, all while taking part in the annual North versus South Box Lacrosse Tournament. Learn more today by following us on Instagram at Battle of the Border Lax. You can as well follow CROW LAX TV on Instagram and Twitter. You're going to want to check that out. You can find some great highlights from every weekend's RMLL action. That's both from the Junior B Tier 1, Junior B Tier 2, and Senior B action. Just like the big save yesterday from John McMillan. A dive across, stopped with the back of his stick. Possibly a game saver for the Rebels. And now they're 1-0 at home just like that. The Knights looking for an option now. That one fed down to the right. A good opportunity. Here's a man in the middle streaming through that time, but unable to connect. We remain 0-0. Another shot, that time off the pad of Schmidt. His left pad, and the rebound comes out. The Rebels able to quickly get this one across half. Back up high now. Carter McAdam. He'll hold on to it momentarily. Feed that one off to Kerr. Kerr goes down low for Peterson. He had himself a goal in yesterday's contest. Peterson feeds that across for McCallion, opening himself up now. That time was Basisti. Is another shot from the point's going to go wide. Rebels having a tough time finding the target right now as Kerr lets one go, and that gets knocked clean out of the air, and it's going to be the Knights who recover right away. 7:42 to go in the first in what has been a scoreless period so far. Feet up high now. The Knights looking to go to work. Tisdale, he's got it. Slowly working his way in. Feeds that one across now to Bryce Trimmer. Trimmer looking for an option. Still with it in his stick. Goes back across now. Pass gonna miss. Schmidt couldn't quite gather it in to his stick. It's now back up high. The Rebels gonna be able to move this one off to the left and across half at the expiration of the shot clock. Feeling some pressure now all of a sudden is Carter McAdam. Had to pass that off quickly. Gets it to Wheaton, who goes back up high for Peterson coming off the bench. Peterson to Wheaton. Wheaton tried to go back into the middle for Peterson, just couldn't quite hit him that time around. Is now back up high. Quick shot from Will DeBoer gets stopped up nicely by Lowe. Under 7 minutes to go in the period. Is Rockyview trying to stretch the floor here this time, running in with some pace. Jacob Berg, he'll let that one go, or sorry, fed that off to James Johnson, who let that one go, but it goes off a helmet out of play. They're saying they're actually going to give that ball to the Rebels. I, from my vantage point, felt that one off the Rebels last, but nonetheless, they get back across half. Beret, he's got it over to the left side now. Beret looking for an option, feeds that one all the way down. Playing around with it now, the Rebels, as George goes over top of the net one more time. Ball ends up in the netting, and play going to be blown dead. And they're saying that's going to be Rockyview ball this time. Basisti felt that was last off at night, but nonetheless, it's not going to matter as they head back into the Rebels offensive zone now. Bryce Trimmer, ball in his pocket right now, goes back up high to the high point. Playing far outside now are the Knights. Haven't been able to pierce the Rebels defense really since the first couple minutes of this game. Seemingly the Rebels settling in just nicely on the back end. 6 minutes to go in the first, 0-0. So Rebels will get the ball down in the offensive zone. Picking this one up now, Will DeBoer. Looking for an option. Will DeBoer will fire that across. Ethan Peterson, he's got it now, feeding to the center there and just trying to hit Basisti, but a stick breaks that play up. Beret back up to that point for Wheaton. Wheaton to Basisti, back into the middle. That give and go just not connecting right now for the Rebels. Another shot ends up just wide. Peterson couldn't gather in the rebound, but it's going to be Beret who comes up with it. Peterson catches it in his stick. That shot's going to go off a leg and away wide. Rockyview gathers that in. 5:28 to go in the first. So they're back in the offensive zone. Tight game. 8-8 are the shots right now. No one yet to find the back of the net as a shot from the point there is going to end up just wide. Schmidt's net slightly out of position. Might want to give that a little bit of a bump before he loses his angles. Rebels awarded possession and back in the offensive zone now. Beret. He's got it up high, looking for his options. Beret feeds that into the center. Quick shot from McCallion, and that's off the top of the shoulder. A low. George able to gather in the rebound, and a fresh reset for the Rebels as Kerr trying to step in. Does get in all alone. Goes low that time on none other than the goaltender Low, but he makes a stop with his stick. That might trip me up as this game goes on. Shooting low on low. We'll see how that goes. Nonetheless, a swift little bounce pass that time from Aiden Gorst gets Rockyview into the zone. It's a nice feed into the middle, and that's the first time I've seen a guy get loose in the last few possessions for Rockyview. In center and back with it now. Up top, Isaac Tisdale. He's got it. Lets it go, and a stop by Schmidt. Rebound gathered in his own crease. Ball played back out high. The Rebels back into the offensive zone once again. Coming off the bench to gather in this one's going to be Will DeBoer. He's got it now. Zach Will DeBoer goes up high. Finds Basisti. Basisti looking for a lane. Feeds that one down low. And a quick shot inside from McCallion. And that stopped swiftly by Lowe. Under 4 minutes to go now in the period. Knights back into the zone. Ball up high now. That one fed off nicely. James Johnston He's got it now. Johnston, he goes back up high. Trimmer feeds that off to the left side, cycling up high. Max Janusik. Now a quick shot, and that shot's going to end up wide. Target practice not at its finest in this game for either club right now. Under 3.5 to go in the first, and a turnover to the Rebels. Shot clock violation by the Knights. Quickly picked up by Eric George. George will feed that over to the right. Ethan Peterson's got it, looking for a lane now, trying to dip inside. Peterson, a little underhand pass, and a quick shot that time from Kerr. Stopped up by Lowe once again, and now we got some pushing and shoving going on here. There's going to be a penalty upcoming to the Knights. Good job by Kerr to maintain composure and make sure he draws that power play for his club. 3:08 to go in the first frame. Shots 11-9 in favor of the Rebels, but their first power play of the game going to come on the penalty assessed to Nick Page of the Rockyview Knights. Starting with the ball up at the point, it's going to be Josh McCallion. He'll step in now. McCallion feeds that one over to the right for Basisti. Basisti goes low for Kerr. Kerr's going to feed that across George. George up high. McCallion. Basisti. McCallion feeds that one for Wildeboer. Wildeboer gets a lane. Shot there, and it's going to be blocked away. Recovered swiftly by McCallion. A quick opportunity for George. Just couldn't get it towards the net. Wildeboer with it. Once again up high. Another quick shot. That's going to be off the pads. That time ball still loose and recovered by George, who tried to quick stick that one towards the net, just couldn't quite make it happen. Wildeboer trying to dig out a loose ball. He does get it now, and the Rebels get the reset as well. Wildeboer, McCallion over to the right side now. Basisti down to Kerr, back up high. Basisti, McCallion, Wildeboer, and that shot's going to go off the post. 2:20 to go now in the first period, and 1:10 in this Rebels power play. They've controlled it entirely down in the offensive zone up to this point, where they'll have to work their way back in now. 2:08 on the clock. McCallion to Basisti, down to Kerr, who tried to go across, and a quick shot, almost took an odd bounce. Through low that time, and a nice ball knocked out of the air that time by Wildeboer. Battle for the loose ball, going to be picked up by Rockyview, and they'll throw that one down the floor, but it's an 8-second violation against them, so instantly turned over to the Rebels once again. Need a reset of the shot clock. We do get it here as down low, Kerr back up to Basisti, now to McCallion. This power play continuing to go to work. They've been out there this whole time. It's McCallion lets that one go. Rebound grabbed in front by George, looking for an option off the post. Another shot while the goalie's down, and Kerr couldn't get that one through the defense. Reset again, Rebels. Wildeboer lets it go, and another stop by Lowe, keeping his team in it. Lots of shots on this power play for the Rebels as it continues to wind down. Ball loose. Picked up by Rockyview, and they get across half with the ball for the first time. Short-handed, and now able to just rag off this last 10 seconds is just slowing things way down now as James Johnston, as he'll wait for his man Nick Page to get out of the box. Page out of the box as this ball has found its way over now to Max Janusik. Janusik with not a lot of time on the shot clock. That's going to wind down. 56 seconds to go in the period. Nobody has broke the tie yet. Comes across half now, feeding to the center. Beret going to funnel left as he has the ball in his stick. Lets one go from outside, and another stop by Lowe, continuing to look solid in the pipes. 45 seconds to go as Rockyview heads back the other way in across half now. Ball left there nicely for Johnston. Johnston holding it, goes back up high. It looks like we have a loose ball push called against Rockyview. It's going to be the Rebels back the other way with it now. Play blown dead once again, and it looks like timeout called by the Rebels. Possibly going to go for that empty net play. If you were tuned in yesterday for the Rebels action, you heard me talk about it in extent, but I will relay it once again for you. Typically, you'll see this towards the end of the period if a team can get a possession within the last 30 seconds, as that takes the shot clock out of contention and allows the team to pull their goaltender and get a 6-man on the floor. You'll usually see them slow things right down, not letting a shot go until typically the last 5 seconds, as you don't want to risk turning it over to the other squad for an empty net opportunity. But it looks like that's indeed what the Rebels are going to go for here. 29 seconds to go in the first. Rebels empty net. 6 men on the floor. That's George, Kerr, Basisti, Will DeBoer, Beret, and McCallion up at the top to grab the ball. Josh McCallion, play blown in. And again, watch here. It's going to be slow. Just a little bit of pass going to be played unless a great opportunity opens up that's worth the risk early. Clock continuing to melt down. 18 seconds to go as McCallion just going to hold on to it here exactly as expected. 10 seconds on the clock. McCallion up high, gets picked now, tried to let it go, comes loose. In front, they score! Just like that, Basisti finds George in the middle, and with 3 seconds on the clock, the Rebels break the ice in this game at home. And that's why you never give up on a play, even on a bit of a misplay at the top from McCallion. Rebound gathered by the Rebels, and they get themselves up in this contest. What may end up being a big goal, and that's why you pull that play that the Rebels did right there. It works. It doesn't always work, but that time it does. Second face-off only we've seen in this game so far. Nolski was a lot busier in the first period yesterday, but that is going to do it. After 20 minutes, it's the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels that lead this game 1-0 over the Rockyview Knights. My name's Aiden Bolsgaard. Keenan Kanda is on the camera, and you're tuned in live on CROW LAX TV. Hello and welcome back live on CROW LAX TV. My name's Aiden Bolsgaard. Keenan Canada is on camera, and we're getting set for the middle frame between the Rebels and the Knights. It's Fort Saskatchewan that leads this game 1-0 thanks to the late period goal from Eric George on the net pull. Risky maneuver turns into reward for the Rebels. Let's see if the floodgates can open. Not often you see a 1-0 lacrosse game in the second period. Almost feels like it's the opening minute. So the Knights go to work here now, shooting this ball across. Reminder, teams do switch sides. The Rebels going to be working broadcast right to left in this period. The Knights left to right, of course, as Takahara moves this ball into the offensive zone to start. George almost created a great opportunity there, trying to pick up the rebound, but it's going to be the Rockyview goaltender, Tyler Lowe, that sends this one back up the floor. Knights back to work now. Fed down to the right side of the floor, starting to go to work. James Johnston has this ball in his stick as he pushes this over to the left. No seams opening up as of right now for the Knights. Now trying to get inside. Routine save that time for Schmidt as he'll move that out of the zone and pushing that one ahead. Back into offensive territory. It's the Rebels. George, he'll feed this over to the right side now. Ethan Peterson. Back up high for Beret. Beret to Will DeBoer. Will DeBoer up high. And a quick low shot that time from Beret. What we used to call in my day the submarine shot. From low to high. Maybe they still call it that. I don't know. I haven't been brought up to speed on the lingo with lacrosse players as of today. Nonetheless, Johnston with the ball on his stick now as the Knights try to go to work and tie this game up. Big shot from the point, and that catches a piece of a body and ends up just wide of Schmidt. Almost trapped him that time. Going for the full speed shot, but it's going to be Takahara moving it back the other way for the Rebels. Got cut off, so he'll turn back now and feed that off to his offense. Will DeBoer drops that down to the left corner now. McCallion trying to go to work, and looks like we're going to have a turnover. Little off-ball foul and a breakaway now. Here comes Rockyview. Inside, they score. Just like that, James Johnston gets this game tied up for Rockyview early on in the second period. We're only just over 2 minutes into this period, and we already have the same amount of goals as we had in the first. We'll get set at center once again. Nolski. He'll line up to take this draw now, as he usually does. And that's why he does, because he wins it once again. Pushes that ball ahead nicely. Feed across. Quick shot there from George. And they're saying back in violation following the stop that time from Lowe. Will remain Rebels ball with a fresh 30 on the clock. Peterson up high for Basisti. He'll find McCallion now. Josh McCallion look for an option. Lets it rip, and Lowe able to make the stop. Once again, McCallion dropped his man, and we do have a hurt player down on the floor right now trying to get to his feet, and the play going to get blown dead now. Trainer going to have to come off the bench. Looks like possibly just a solid check to the hip that time from George. Now the Rockyview Knight to his feet. And that'll get some applause from both teams as well, the crowd. So we'll resume with a Rebels ball up at the point. It looks like it's going to be Ethan Peterson, former captain of the Junior Rebels, who will pick up this ball. Peterson puts that down to the right corner for Wheaton. Wheaton going to bob inside, turn back out, finds Basisti. Basisti across now. He found Will DeBoer, who just put that ball short side wide, and it's going to be a break the other way for Rockyview. Once again, another breakaway. Staggerman coming in. Lets that go with one hand. A nice pass into the center for Staggerman. who dodges a hit from Nguyen as well. Nguyen took a tumble. He was about to lay everything he could into that one, and now a bit of a wrestling match as Takahara will throw the stick away, and it's going to be a penalty assessed to Rockyview. Rebels with possession right now, so play continues 6-on-5, 13 seconds to go on the shot clock. Wheaton sends that one up high for Beret. Beret going to look for an option now, sends that down to the corner, and Wheaton couldn't quite gather that in, and it ends up in the Rockyview goaltender's stick. So the second power play opportunity of the game going to be awarded to the Rebels. Unsuccessful on their first, but there's always a time to turn it around, and that's no time like the present. 16:40 to go in the middle frame. Shots 22-12 in favor of Fort Saskatchewan as they go to work. McCallion to Will DeBoer. They're going to play a little bit of pass, but now down to the corner and sent across by George to Wheaton. Wheaton to McCallion. Back down to Wheaton, and his shot stopped by Lowe. McCallion once again to Wheaton. To McCallion. Big shot there, and that's going to go off the right pad once again of Lowe. Continuing to look solid in the pipes. A bit of a goaltender battle going on right now. It's been Lowe who's seen the higher volume of shots so far. As another quick shot, that time from Will DeBoer. Won't find its way to the net, and the Knights going to turn it back the other way, possibly with some speed here, shorthanded. Slowing things down, Jacob Berg. He'll pull that one out high and drop it down to the left half boards now. Berg. Has that ball thrown away. Now picked up once again by the Rebels. Still just under a minute to work with on the power plays. This ball thrown across. Basisti going to settle it down. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Lots of time to get to work here for Fort Saskatchewan as Basisti will throw that to the left side. McCallion back up high. Basisti to Peterson. Moving the ball behind the net. Beret up high. Basisti looking for an option. Tried to let it go, and it doesn't find its way onto the net. Picked up by Rockyview once again. Rebels trying to jump on this ball, but able to break out that time is Aiden Gorst. His pass ahead going to go off the glass. Rebound comes out. Brought in by Rockyview once again. Passed out high, only 15 seconds to go on the power play, almost at par with the shot clock. So all the Knights have to do is hold on to this one this time around. Shot clock expires, as does the penalty. We're back 5-on-5 and remain tied at 1 apiece with 14.5 to go. George going to feed that over to the right side. He finds Kerr. Kerr steps in now, looking for an option. Goes back up high. There's Josh McCallion to receive that pass. Steps around 2 men. Feeds it off to Kerr once again. An outside shot and a stop by Lowe between the pipes. Story of the day so far has been Lowe, keeping his team in this one. Is Johnston. He's got it now. Makes a nice move to the middle. Already has won in this game and caught a stick up high, and a late arm in the air that time by the referee. So penalty upcoming to the Rebels now. Rockyview with possession for at least the next 12 seconds as the shot clock winding down. Johnston with it. Goes back up high now. Rockyview continuing to move it around. Johnston, a quick shot. He scores. Back-to-back goals for Johnston. Puts Rockyview out in front 2-1 over the Rebels with under 14 minutes to go. That negating the power play opportunity for the Knights. I mean, the goal of a power play, obviously, to score a goal, so you'll take one when it's impending as well. A 6-on-5 marker that time for Rockyview as Nolski going to line up at center once again against Sheridan Cook as we get set to go. Nolski couldn't get the ball in his stick off that draw, so it's going to be the Knights who break in once again with it now. Aiden Gorst looking up the floor, goes up high now. Max Janusik will send that across the floor, finds Morrow. Morrow goes down low that time for Bryce Trimmer, who goes back up high for Johnston. Looking for the hat trick now, Johnston. 4 seconds on the shot clock. To the point now. Big shot there, and Schmidt able to get a piece of it, and the rebound comes out to the corner. Picked up once again by Takahara. Takahara feeds that up along the right side. Ethan Peterson has it once again. The lefty moves in across half, and now just send a rolling ball towards his bench. That picked up by Wildeboer. Wildeboer down to Beret. Beret going to step up, trying to go into the middle there, and that's going to be stopped up on the shot from Wildeboer by Lowe, who has this ball in his own crease now. We do have a penalty upcoming to the Rebels once again. 6-on-5, go the Knights. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Johnston was able to convert on this opportunity last time. Johnston up at the point, feeds that one across now. Back up high with it, being pressured. Skyler running rabbit, and a quick shot on net. Schmidt makes the save. So here comes a penalty to the Rebels. It's going to be Ethan Peterson headed to the box, and another man advantage opportunity for Rockyview, unable to convert on their first. Did convert on an impending penalty, but that doesn't quite count for the special teams. So looking to stretch their lead possibly to 2 with a goal here on the man advantage. Play blown back in, and here comes the power play. Fed down to the right shooter position, back up high. Johnston, he's got it. Everybody's got a touch of the ball now, which is usually the start of most power plays here in the RMLL. Johnston felt he had a lane. A quick shot there, and Schmidt, good job getting across to stop that ball that time. And now a spring pass, unable to be gathered in by Johnston. Rebound does come out and grabbed out of the air by Lowe. He'll just give that right back to Johnston, is headed back with a fresh 30 on this power play is Rockyview. Johnston down to the corner, back up to the shooter position. Johnston high, quick shot there, caught a piece of Schmidt and out of play, so it'll stay Rockyview ball with a fresh reset. Ball being moved around right now. Running rabbit sends that ball up to the point now, trying to set a pick. This time around, and a quick shot from the outside, they score. The conversion on the power play, Rockyview up by 2 goals now. 3-1 is your score for the Knights over the Rebels. $11:39 to go in the period. Nolsky ready to take this draw once again against Sheridan Cook. Nolsky wins that one with ease. 2-on-1 back the other way for the Rebels. A quick shot on net and off the right shoulder of Lowe that time. Picked up once again by Rockyview, trying to go on an odd man rush themselves here, but the Rebels defense out on the floor promptly to negate that. As this ball comes back up high now. Rockyview looking to move this one around down to the corner. Picked up by Johnston. Johnston makes a nice move to the inside. Another shot on Schmidt. And a big save. Third goal eludes Johnston as the Rebels headed back the other way now. Dylan Kerr, he's got it. Feeds that over to George. George looking for an option. Goes up high. Beret going to drop that down to the corner now. Assisti to George. His shot. Little funny hop. Trying to find its way through. And that's going to be gathered in that time by Lowe. It did get through, but the defense helping him make a save that time around. Takahara tried to step up to steal away that ball. Now he'll have to get back into the zone and back into position. Tisdale looking for an option. A quick shot that time and stopped by Schmidt once again. Has to keep his team in it now as they already trail by 2. Nguyen chooses not to feed that ball the full length. Now we'll give this off to the right side. A quick shot down low, stopped by Lowe, and now a bit of a collision there. Is trying to pick up that ball was Matt Murphy, but it's going to be Rockyview come up with it, and Nguyen from behind sends his man into the boards. Another penalty upcoming to the Rebels. Johnston from the point, a quick shot, and that's going to end up just wide. And now things getting a little rough out there as Nolsky drops his man as well. So Nguyen headed to the box for sure. Referee's trying to sort things out. A little bit of conversation going on from the Rockyview bench. And it looks like, well, they're sorting things out as Nolsky's trotting his way to the penalty box as well. When we come back, it may be a 5-on-3 power play for Rockyview, and indeed that looks like it's going to be the case. So Nguyen and Nolski sitting in the box right now. It is goalie Water. I'll give Schmidt some time to relax before this next power play gets going. When up a man, Rockyview is converted twice in a row. Once on the full power play, 1-6 on 5. Now the Rebels going to have to deal with being short 2. And I'll remind you again, the Battle of the Border is back this September in Missoula, Montana. Tour the beautiful University of Montana campus, learn about the CROW LAX program and full ride scholarships available for Canadians, all while taking part in the annual North versus South Box Lacrosse Tournament. Learn more today by following us on Instagram at Battle of the Border Lax. You can also follow CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. That's at CROW LAX TV. Keep it simple. Rockyview going to work here. 5 on 3. Playing the inverted triangle on this 3-man penalty kill are the Rebels. That's a good shot stop by Schmidt. Start this off as a cross half now. Rebels trying to go to work here. Takahara, ball still in his stick, doing a good job ragging off some of this penalty right now. 10 seconds to go. Takahara still with it. 5 seconds on the clock now. Gonna have to roll it down soon, and he'll just dump that ball behind him. Great example of penalty killing that time from Corey Takahara. As here comes Rockyview, 1:15 to work with, 5 on 3. Keep in mind, if they do score, well, on the 2-man advantage, it will just move to a 1-man advantage until the end of the power play or another goal. Good ball movement here, and that pass just going to miss. Johnston out there and possibly a rush the back the other way for the Rebels, picking that one up now, Carter McAdam. McAdam gets caught in 3 men that time. McCallion and Peterson will join him out on the floor. It was Peterson who was in the box last time when Rockyview was able to convert and get their team up by 2. McAdam sent that towards the net, knocked down by the goaltender, and here comes Rockyview back the other way. 30 seconds to go on this power play. It was going to be an absolute huge kill for the Rebels if they were able to get off unscathed. Johnston in tight, goes back up high, gets past low, goes across there, and that pass just unable to be gathered in. Schmidt gets it in that big stick of his, stepping out of his crease. Now 8-second count begins. Played down, nice gathering by Wildeboer, who lets it go, and that got through low once again. And looked like it went off his back foot when he ended up going down. 5 on 3 now over as both men step out of the box for the Rebels, and that'll get some applause from them and the crowd. Both Nguyen and Nolski back in play as Wildeboer's shot gets let go, and that's blocked up. Now with a Basisti, and that's stopped once again. George was trying to dig out the rebound. Won't happen that time, as it's going to be Rockyview back into the offensive zone. 7.5 to go in this second period. Slowly stepping in now, moving this one around. A quick shot from Gorst, and that's going to go high. Stays in the playing surface. Schmidt trying to trap this ball. Takahara comes in and steals it away. Corey Takahara plays that one across half swiftly. Finds its way up the floor. Now down low, the Rebels trying to go to work. Feed back up high. McCallion, he's got it now. Josh McCallion finds Basisti coming off the bench, who lets that one rip that time, and another stop by Lowe, who continues to be solid in between the pipes. 30 shots on net now for the Rebels, and only one goal has found its way past. Ball comes down to the corner on the quick shot from Rockyview to start off that possession. It's going to be the Rebels who easily pick that one up and head across half. Fed ahead, Wildeboer. He's got it now. We'll wait for the rest of the offense to get out on the floor. Wildeboer feeds that across. Kerr with it now in his stick. Kerr goes down low, finds Wheaton. Wheaton back up high. Eric George now has a lane, lets it go low, and that's going to be stopped up by the stick of Lowe once again. Moving up the floor. Here come the Knights, approaching 6 minutes to go in the middle frame. Up high, ball gathered in by Matthew McKee. McKee Goes down to Johnston. He's got 2 of the 3 goals in this game so far for the Knights. Johnston, his pass into the middle, comes loose, trying to bear down on this one now is the Rebels. Comes loose, back up high. Rockyview almost fed that one into the center. Finding his way through the middle was Bryce Trimmer, but the pass just didn't connect. Expiration of the shot clock. Rebels back the other way. Just jaunting his way across half that time. Alex Wildeboer. Wildeboer, he's got it in his stick once again. Now he'll go for the change as he feeds that one off to Beret. Feed down to the right side now. Basisti. Quick shot from Beret. Nice eyes that time from Basisti to find Beret down on the corner, but just yet again unable to convert for Fort Saskatchewan. So Rockyview going to slow things up here. Lots of time on the shot clock. Got a across half quickly, and they go back to work. Johnston. Over to the right side now, Morrow. Morrow goes back up high, finds McKee. Once again with Morrow now from the point. Thought he had a lane. I thought for sure he was going to shoot that ball. Thought he had time and space, but apparently he didn't feel the same, as now the Rebels going to be on a fast break here. Once again, here comes Carter McAdam in all alone. Shot save once again by Lowe. And back in possession of the Knights, controlling this second period, both through man advantages and 5-on-5. You can't take that from them, as that shot ends up just wide of Schmidt. Johnston able to pull that one in, getting some pressure here, but he'll pull that one back out high, and the pass just unable to connect. Over and back going to be the call against Rockyview, and the Rebels will grab possession in the offensive zone. Fresh 30 to work with and 5 fresh troops on the floor. Wildeboer with it down in the corner now. Nobody opening up for him. Now he's got someone. It's Basisti who spins off his man. A nice pick that time from Kerr to gain some space for Basisti, who drops that to the corner for Wildeboer. That pass went just wide. And a violation there from the Rebels is going to turn this over quickly back to Rockyview once again. Ball comes across half now. Jacob Berg will go up high, finds his man here in McKee. McKee to Johnston. Johnston, little head fake, finds his way into the middle nicely that time. And not stopped by Schmidt, sorry, that one ends up wide. Under 4 minutes to go now in the second. Rebels back into offensive zone. Peterson will take that ball here as the offense gets set back up. Comes up high, Basisti to Peterson. Peterson to McCallion. McCallion to Beret. Beret, a low shot through the screen that time, and another stop by Lowe. 3-1 remains your score. It's like a hockey game. The Oilers scored more goals today than these two combined. 3.5 to go in the second. Nolsky now going to be in a race one-on-one. Spinning off his man, chooses to gain some space instead of going for the shot. Nolsky feeds that up high, finds Kerr. Kerr will move his way over to the right side of the floor. Finds Basisti, gives it back to Kerr. Trying to go low that time to connect with his man in the left crease position, but unable to do so. Basisti gathers in this ball. Only 5 seconds on the shot clock. Has to let something go. Does now, and that gets right into the stick of Lowe. You got to credit Lowe. He's been solid between the pipes today, but for the Rebels, it seems everything is hitting Lowe in the middle, whether that be right in the stick or right in the chest. Not really testing him with too many well-placed shots as it stands. 2:40 to go now in this middle frame. Shots 34-19 in favor of the home side Rebels, and they trail in this game 3-1. As a nice stop there by Schmidt, as the Rebels will move their way back into the offensive zone. Ball comes back up high. Ethan Peterson now looking to move this around. Peterson directing traffic with a little head tilt that time around. McCallion from the point. He'll let it go, and that time it's stopped nicely by the left foot of Lowe, and that's a well-placed shot. That's what I'm talking about for the Rebels, trying to get more high-quality chances on to Lowe, who's clearly feeling hot today between the pipes. Takahara now recovers this in his own zone as we head to under 2 minutes to go in the middle frame. Takahara moves that one up into the zone. It's Kerr who has it in his stick now. Kerr feeds that up high. Eric George now going to go to the left shooter position for Beret, who's going to bob down low. Nice little nifty pass up high. Wildeboer will let it go, and that shot misses the net. Ball comes back up high. 8 seconds to go in the shot clock. Another quick shot from George, and that one not going to find its way home either. 1.5 minutes to go. Rebels get the reset. Beret steps in and that's going to go off the goaltender and out of play. So good possession here by the Rebels, getting some pressure on to the Knights right now, but need to find a way to convert. As they trail by 2, still lots of time in this lacrosse game. Things can open up wildly yet, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be one of those days. Wildeboer feeds Bure. Bure over to the other side. It's Basisti who's got it now. He makes a nice move towards the inside. Couple fake passes. Back up high. Wildeboer lets it go, and a nice stop once again by Lowe. How many times have I said that today? Probably too many. You might begin to get sick of it. Unless, of course, you're a Rockyview Knights fan. Then you're loving it right now, and we always want to let you know you're more than welcome to tune in on CROW LAX TV all times. We have teams in the south, in the north, across 3 divisions. That's RMLL, Senior B, Junior B Tier 1, and Junior B Tier 2, with the joining of the Sherwood Park Titans this year. If you ever played minor lacrosse in either Fort Saskatchewan or Sherwood Park, you would know that is quite the rivalry that's always gone on. It'll be interesting to see if the Rebels ever add a Tier 2 team in the organization, just how that rivalry might awaken once again. I think it would be entertaining for all, and I can tell you, you would have my butt in a seat if that ever came to be the day. Beret, with 8 seconds left, lets a behind-the-back shot go. 21 seconds to go in the period. Rockyview going to be on a break. Nice job backtracking there from Basisti. And the play is going to get blown dead, and a timeout called by the Rockyview Knights. 15.4 seconds on the clock. And I'll tell you, folks, you best believe they're going to try the same things the Rebels did to end out the first period, which saw Eric George convert to get the first goal of the game on the board. Nonetheless, a good timeout for the players to gather their wits. 15 seconds, a lot of time to make something happen in the sport of lacrosse, especially box lacrosse. Viewers from down south, I'm talking the United States, will be more familiar with the field lacrosse version of the game. And don't worry, CROW LAX TV likes to get involved there as well, calling the field lacrosse provincials last year. We'll see if we can get ourselves into some of that action here, but the mainstay, of course, in the rink in the summer. We love ourselves some box lacrosse, and indeed empty net for the Knights. 15 seconds on the clock. No shot clock on because it is not needed. Let's see if they can convert. Isaac Tisdale going to get the ball at the point. Don't expect much movement until about 5 seconds on the clock here. Tisdale. 10 seconds to go. Still with it in his stick. 6 seconds on the clock now. Here comes the movement. Johnston, he's got it. Havoc being wreaked. This comes loose into the middle. The Rebels try to send one down, and that's going to end up just wide of the net. I don't think it would have quite reached it in time regardless. So that'll do it for our second period. After 40 minutes, it's the Rockyview Knights leading the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels 3-1, despite the Rebels' large lead on the shot board. Your story, the starting goaltender for the Knights, Tyler Lowe. Again, my name's Aiden Bolsgaard. Keenan Kanda is on the camera, and we thank you again because you're tuned in live on CROW LAX TV. Hello and welcome back live on CROW LAX TV. My name's Aiden Bolsgaard. Keenan Canada is on the camera, and we're getting set for the third and possible final period between the home side Fort Saskatchewan Rebels and the visiting Rockyview Knights, who lead this game 3-1, aside the fact being outshot 37-21 by the Rebels, who just can't seem to break through Carson Wells. The Rebels who open up this period with possession, but a quick giveaway there, and it's going to be Johnston trying to get himself in all alone, looking for his third goal of the game. Johnston in, he scores. And just like that, Johnston with the hat trick, and it's a 4-1 lead for the Rockyview Knights, only 24 seconds into this third period. We'll get set at center once again. The Rebels got a lot of work to do now in this final frame if they are going to get back in it. Sheridan Cook in against Garen Nolski at center. Nolski pulls that one out, trying to get this in his pocket. Peterson comes in, helps him out, gets pinned right in front of the Rockyview bench. Peterson getting abused in front, and it's going to be Rockyview ball. And play blown back in. Johnston, who just got his team a 3-goal lead. 3 of the 4 goals in this game for his team scored by him. He's moving it around once again now. Morrow to Johnston. Johnston goes back across the floor now. Rockyview continuing to move this around. Johnston, a nice spin move to the inside. A second one, looking for an option. Lets it go, and it ends up just wide of the net. Recovered by Rockyview. That one didn't get on net, so only 3 seconds to go on the shot clock. They need a shot quickly here, and that'll just be dumped down to the corner. Rebels pick up, and the play blown back in. This one just going to be rushed up here, and Greg Beret coming off the bench is going to get that in his stick now. Beret steps in, looking for an option. Rebels maybe need someone to be selfish here and just put a ball in the right spot as Beret feeds that to the other side. Basisti puts that down to the corner for Wheaton. Wheaton back up high, feeds that up to the center now. Pulling that one down out of the air swiftly was Alex Wildeboer. Wildeboer lets that go short side low, and that will be stopped up by Low once again. 18:20 to go in the third now. Rockyview across half once again as they'll slow things down. Matthew McKee leaves that one there. Bryce Trimmer goes down to the corner as the ball's starting to move around here once again for the Knights. Up at the point now, fed to that left shooter position. A shot from the outside and stopped by Schmidt out of the stick of Bryce Trimmer. 17:55 to go. Rockyview gets the reset after collecting the rebound. Ball fed across. Picked up again now. Takahara couldn't gather that in. Goes off his leg, and a nice little stand-up hit that time. So the Rebels get into the offensive zone. Peterson able to gather that one in. 16 seconds to go on the shot clock. Peterson to Wheaton. Wheaton over to McCallion, who makes a nice move to the inside, but it will turn back once again. Back up high. Peterson lets it go, and it's wide and into the netting. Picked up by Johnston. Play blown back in. He's trying to maybe create an opportunity, but decides to back off. And now send a nice pass over, and that shot going to go over top of Schmidt. Gathered in by Takahara. He'll play that ball ahead. Possibly a break here for the Rebels. 2-on-2. Now going to back off as the offense gets on the floor. Basisti with some time and space now. Basisti goes up high, finds Wildeboer. Wildeboer, his pass across goes off the top of the stick of Kerr. My apologies, Matt Murphy. Back the other way. Come Rockyview is getting cut off. On the rush up the floor that time was Jacob Berg, but recovers the rebound and now has this ball all the way up high. And he'll feed that in. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock now. The Knights trying to go to work. This ball fed over to the left side. Ball comes back up high. Johnston will let it go, and that's stopped up once again by Schmidt, keeping his team in it here. Fed ahead now. Noyen couldn't quite gather that ball in. Has some pressure now trying to find it. That'll be picked up by Johnston. Is back the other way now. Come Rockyview once again. Eric George trying to put some pressure on. Now out on a little defensive shift is George. Rebels, of course, moving broadcast left to right in this period. Rockyview right to left. Up high now. Big shot from the outside. A little low bouncing shot from Patrick Morrow. Bounces out of play, and that'll be Rebels ball. And it looks like we're going to have some penalties upcoming. Actually, singular, it looks like. It's Tanner Tass going to be sent to the box for the Rebels. That's going to put the Knights back on the power play, and another great opportunity to stretch their lead out. Already 3 goals all over the Rebels, looking to make it 4. Everybody kind of slow to get in position here. Bit of a lackluster start to this third period, other than that goal from Johnston. Nonetheless, let's see if Rockyview can convert. They've been sharp on the power play so far, other than not converting on that 2-minute 5-on-3 opportunity. Johnston from the point, possibly looking for goal number 4. This ball up high now, and the feedback to left shooter comes loose. And that's loose ball interference on Rockyview. So that allows the Rebels to push that one across half. 1.5 minutes to go on the Rockyview power plays. Takahara fakes the pass. He's still got it now, trying to burn his way inside. A couple nice moves now, chasing after the rebound, Takahara. He'll get it once again. Takahara feeds that down low to McCallion. He's looking for a shorthanded opportunity now. 5 seconds on the shot clock, gains some space. McCallion lets it go, and it ends up blocked off Rockyview. And they'll pick up once again. Jacob Berg fires that ahead from his own zone. Johnston will bring it across half. Morrow moves that to the point, comes across to the other side now. Bryce Trimmer gets the ball back in his stick, goes down low and gets a return feed once again. Trimmer back up to the point. Not a lot of space opening up so far. Johnston will get the return feed once again. Steps up high, low shot there, and that won't beat Schmidt. Makes a clean save that time. In his stick now, 30 seconds go on the power play. Schmidt will step out of the box. Ball comes all the way down the floor. First to it here. It's going to be Carter McAdam. It's McAdam. Gets knocked down to the floor. Still able to make a nice pass up high to Pasisti. Will leave it there for George. 14 seconds on the power play. 5 seconds to go on the Rebels shot clock as George steps in. Tries to get inside. Does get in, and he scores just like that. Eric George's second goal of the game. As he's getting knocked down, that's a spectacular one for the Rebels. That possibly could ignite some life into this lineup, now only trailing in this game by 2 and on the verge of killing off another penalty. Let's see what results we get here. Getting lined up at the draw circle. Nolski absent from the faceoff dot. The first time I've seen that in 2 games now as the Rebels on another rush. Quick shot stopped by low. McCallion couldn't quite gather in the rebound. Now back 5-on-5, but it's Rockyview who has it in their own zone and are back into Rebels territory once again. 13.5 to go in this game for Saskatchewan, only trailing by 2. Ball comes up to the left shooter, sent across now. Johnston. Or sorry, my apologies. That's Patrick Morrow over there sends one on net. Rebound comes off of Schmidt. Picked up by the Rebels. Takahara now has an open man on the other side of the floor. Dangerously up high there. You don't want to pay too much attention to the ball in a play like that. You'll end up getting blown up as soon as you open up, and those ones hurt a little bit, let me tell you, as this ball comes back across half. Rockyview looking to go back on offense. Johnston. He's got it, feeds that one up high swiftly for Bryce Trimmer. Trimmer now looking for an option. Trimmer down to the left corner. Fed back up high now. Play across, up high once again. A quick shot from the outside, and that's going to miss wide out of the stick of Max Janusik. Takahara doing everything he can on this defensive play and keeps that from getting back to Rockyview, and his goaltender able to pick it up. And the Rebels move across half. Beret has it in his stick now. Greg Beret. Still moving around with this ball now. 15 seconds to go on the shot clock. Feet up high. Dangerously here. Basisti just knocks that one out of the possible rush for Rockyview as this rebound comes out in front. Another behind-the-back shot and a great save there by Lowe. 12 minutes to go now in the period. Rockyview will jog this one out of their own zone. Aiden Gorst gets down to about the left wing half boards and then passes back up high for Bryce Trimmer, who will go back to the left now for Max Janusik. Janusik to the right side for Johnson, who went into the middle and just couldn't connect, but Johnson gets a rebound. Another shot on net, and Schmidt able to make the save. Takahara picks that up in his own crease. Now looking up the floor, Takahara feeds that to Beret. Beret to the left side for McCallion. McCallion finds Kerr. Kerr will let it go right into the chest that time of Lowe. Creeping up on 11 minutes to go now. Across half swiftly, Sheridan Cook getting pressured by Kerr, but still able to make the pass off nicely that time to Matthew McKee, who goes up high. Johnston has some room, steps in behind the back to McKee. Inside, they're saying no goal. What a passing play that time by Rockyview. But that goal going to get wiped off the board. Crease violation charged against the Knights. Rebels headed back the other way after gaining that break. Just like that, up high, McCallion feeds that to Basisti, who tries to make a move to the top. Basisti to the top, lets it go, and I feel that caught a piece of the goaltender, and we are going to get a reset. There's now Wildeboer with it. He'll feed that inside. Peterson steps in, he scores! Lowe went low, Peterson went high, and it sneaks over his right shoulder, and we have ourselves a one-goal game, 10.5 to go in the third period. Things might just get interesting here. What has been a relatively quiet game so far. We've now got 3 goals in a single period. New course record in this game. Another draw opportunity. Nolski vacant from that spot once again. It's going to be dug out by Johnson. He's trying to make a move towards the net. Does, but turns around. 3 points in this game for George, and that's a smack of a hit on Max Janusik, and that's going to draw a penalty. Surprised maybe that isn't getting more of an answer right now. It's headed to the box for the Rebels. And another penalty kill is an opportunity to grab an insurance goal back for Rockyview. Not below that 10-minute mark, so we can't take the goalie water yet, but it is coming here soon. Let's see where we get now. Ball starts up at the point. 2 minutes of power play time here. Trimmer gets the return pass. Back up high now. Fed across. Down low, Johnston. Slow to start here. Now that 15-second mark hits, and a quick shot. We see that a lot. Teams on power plays just pass around, see where the openings are, and then try to make a move. Takahara now makes a nice move and runs his way into the zone, possibly trying to create something shorthanded as he gets hauled down and catches a stick up high, and that's going to be a penalty assessed to Rockyview, and it's actually going to end up being a trip. Now, Keenan, I know you don't have a microphone, but I got to ask you on this one. Yes, it's a penalty in my opinion, but I would have called that more of a high stick as he came around. Where did you see the trip on that call? He didn't see it, folks. That's what Keenan's saying. He did not see it, and I got to agree with him here. Nonetheless, I think they same, you know, kind of they got it right, but they didn't at the same time. There was a penalty in my opinion on that play. Tripping, just not the correct call that time around. 9:35 to go in the third. We're going to play some 4-on-4 lacrosse. Lots of open floor out there today, at least for the next minute and 26 seconds. It doesn't matter if anyone scores. Will remain exactly 4-on-4 regardless until the expiration of the Rebels penalty, to which they'll then move into a short power play. That'll last about 34 seconds if they're unable to convert. Peterson starting with the ball at the top. Move that over to the left. Beret makes a nice move to the center. Lets that one go and stopped up by Lowe once again. Lowe will feed that one through the middle to Staggerman. Staggerman feeds that off to the right side swiftly for Nick Page. Page looking for an option, finds Johnston up at the point. Johnston, will just make a little swift move around Beret, who is going for a change regardless. Wasn't looking to pursue that ball too much. Johnston still with it now, feeds the man coming off the bench. Trying to make a dip and dive inside, but the Rebels' defense a little bit better that time. Creates a loose ball opportunity. It's Rockyview who comes up with it, and Schmidt makes the save. Takahara trying to gather in this loose ball. It's actually going to be Rockyview who comes up with it now. Nice job by Isaac Tisdale to get that into space and feed it off to Bryce Trimmer. Trimmer back up high for Johnston. Johnston into the centers. A man falling there. Called for the crease violation. 25 seconds left, a 4-on-4, 8.5 to go in this period. McCallion steps in. Takahara goes for the change, and that'll bring out Will DeBoer. So it's Basisti, Kerr, Will DeBoer, and McCallion out for the 4 men. For the Rebels, as that ball almost finds its way through, but another stop again that time by Lowe. In what has been a low-scoring game. Rebels only trail by 1, 4-3. Your score, 8-second violation called against Rockyview. Stepping back across half now, Will DeBoer. Will DeBoer to Noyan. Or my apologies, sorry, that's Aaron George coming off the bench. George back up high for McCallion. Power play opportunity here for the Rebels now. McCallion up high. George with the hot stick in this game. Basisti, low for Kerr. Return feed back up high. McCallion with it. Down. Quick shot there by Kerr. And not going to find its way in between the post and the pad of Lowe. Basisti with it once again. We're back 5-on-5 now. Unable to convert on the short power play are the Rebels. There's a low opportunity there by Basisti. The rebound going to be grabbed out of the air by Jake Staggerman, and back the other way come the Rockyview Knights. Approaching 7 minutes to go in the third. Lots of time on the clock for the Rebels, but slowly will more and more become their enemy. Johnston feeds that one across. Back up high now. Max Januzik finds Johnston again, who tried to feed that all the way across the floor. Rebound had to be gathered in. Stepping in now, Tisdale trying to make a move. Does get a shot on net. Schmidt able to make the stop. Nolski now after the rebound. Nolski's got it, trying to move his feet, and he ends up getting hauled down in the process. And we have a penalty upcoming to the Rebels. Cross-checking going to be the call. So just like that, the Rebels going to be headed back to the penalty kill. Not the ideal game situation they're looking for. At the worst, this peels 2 minutes of game time off the clock, bringing us to below 5 minutes to go in the game, and the Rebels still trailing by 1. Worst case scenario here for the Rebels, Rockyview extends out their lead. Ball comes up, back up high here, playing a little pass. Bryce Trimmer, he's going to get the return feed now. Trimmer looking for an option. This one going to get pulled down from the middle. Quick shot on net and a nice pad save that time. Kyle Schmidt has it in his stick. 5 seconds to get out of the crease as this ball fed ahead now. Chasing it down swiftly is Matt Murphy, and he's going to get it in his stick. Minute and a half to go in this Rockyview power play. Murphy has to pitch that into the center for Will DeBoer, and does get it there as he was about to go over and back. Nonetheless, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Will DeBoer lets it go. That catches a piece of a body. Ends up wide. Will DeBoer gets a rebound again. 2 seconds to go, and we'll just dump that into the corner. Under 6 minutes to go in this period. 1:10 in the power play for Rockyview. 4-3 remains your score in favor of the Knights. Ball fed back up high. Tisdale down to Johnston. Johnston back up high now. Johnston, another shot, and that one's going to be stopped by Schmidt. Another opportunity, and oh my, big stop. Kyle Schmidt going from one side of the net to the other to make that save. Tisdale will feed that around. Reset of the shot clock, another one, and Schmidt keeping his team within one as we approach 30 seconds to go in this penalty kill. The ball fed all the way down the floor. Takahara chasing it down, but it'll end up out of play. Takahara just will leave that behind the Rockyview net. Back the other way now comes Patrick Morrow. Morrow approaching 5 minutes to go in the period, 22 seconds on the power play. Morrow goes to Johnston, now to Tisdale. Tisdale down low, quick shot. Schmidt makes the save, out of position though. Dangerous rebound recovered by the Rebels. Nolski couldn't gather in that pass. Comes across half. That, in my opinion, maybe should have been the over and back. I believe that in his stick before he crossed the half mark. Nonetheless, referee has a closer view than I do as Johnston looking for an option now. Johnson going to feed that one across. Found Morrow, but he just couldn't quite gather that one in. Back up high. With it now, Johnson trying to make a move. Nolski putting the locks on him. We are 5-on-5 once again as Schmidt able to make the save, and now Nguyen picks up that ball for the Rebels and headed back down the other way. Nguyen with some speed on his wrong side of the floor, trying to step in, going to circle around the back of the net. Fed back up top, Eric George. 2 goals in this game so far. Peterson with the other one. That's your 3 goals for the Rebels now as Basisti has an angle, steps in. That shot goes off the post and doesn't find its way into the back of the net, off the post, off the back of Lowe. Oh my, that is the difference right now in this game, is what shouldn't have been a stop ends up being one. 3:45 to go in the period. Matthew McKee now in along the right side. McKee being pressured here, trying to find his way inside. Doubled up now by Takahara as he'll have to step back out on Johnston, and his shot stopped by Schmidt. It's going to come down to a goaltender battle all of a sudden. As Rebels look to move this ball out of the zone. Carter McAdam, he brings it across half now. Will feed that back out high for Wildeboer. That's Alex Wildeboer. Feeding that off to Beret. Beret to Zach Wildeboer. We'll try to let that shot go, and it actually got caught in the stick of Johnson, who's out there on a defensive shift now, and he'll have to go for a change. He's probably a little gassed. Back-to-back offensive and defensive shifts. There's a nice feed into the middle and just not able to be gathered in that time by Bryce Trimmer. This ball gathered in by Beret, who takes a hit but manages to hold on to the ball. Now knocked out of his stick and trying to gather it in. Wildeboer, he's got it. 15 seconds to go in this shot clock for the Rebels. 2.5 to go in this contest. Can the Rebels convert and get things all tied up? And it's going to be a loose ball foul, or sorry, a moving pick is what that'll be called on the Rebels. Turnover to the Knights. Fresh 30 as they start to head up the floor and get across half. That one fed off to Morrow. Morrow going to stop up now, wait for Johnson to come off the bench, who had a second to catch his breath. Played almost every single offensive shift in this game. Has Johnson for good reason too. Again, I'll relay it. 3 of the 4 goals scored by James Johnston for Rockyview. 5 seconds on the shot clock. And that's a big snipe of a goal right there. I don't think Schmidt saw that one coming from the point. His short side shoulder wide open and absolutely sniped that time by the Knights, giving them back a 2-goal lead late in this game. 2:05 to go in the third period. Can the Rebels make magic happen, or will Rockyview be riding on the bus home happy tonight? Let's find out. Draw, Nolski back in it, up against Sheridan Cook. It's going to be the Rebels who come up with possession. Pulled back now. Kerr brings that into the offensive zone, has all day down Broadway. Kerr gets knocked away, feeds that across. Peterson scores! Just like that, the Rebels back within 1. Yet again, Peterson gets his team a strike away from tying this game and really only burned 10 seconds off the clock just like that. 5-4 is your score. The Rebels just under 2 minutes to find the equalizer. Garen Nolski. In at the draw now once again. Kerr going at it a little bit here. It's going to be the Rebels come up with it. Takahara now coming in short side. Takahara going to get it pushed in behind the net. Still with a solid possession. Peterson back out on the floor. Has got his team within one twice. Can he find the equalizers? Bray steps around his man. Shot from the outside there and a nice elbow save by Lowe. Ball comes out loose. Rockyview trying to move it out. Doubled up now is Aiden Gorst and stolen away. Feed into the middle. Quick shot there and a stop by Lowe on McCallion. 1:15 to go in the third period. Keep an eye on Schmidt. If the Rebels can get out of the offensive zone here, he may make a bob towards the bench to go 6-on-5. The Rebels 2-man on here and a feed, and that always leaves an open guy, but not able to gather it in that time was Bryce Trimmer. Under a minute to go in the third. Beret into the offensive zone. Schmidt to the bench. 6-on-5 for the Rebels. Eric George, 2 goals in this game. Him and Peterson leading the charge for the Rebels. George steps into the middle. A low shot there and a stop by Lowe as he'll hold on to it. Feed that one out. Kyle Schmidt trying to get back into his crease. He will now as Rockyview not going to pursue. They'll just hold on to it, try to kill some time. Johnston up high now, getting abused. Steps across, over and back. Turned over to the Rebels. Play going to be blown dead. Timeout, Fort Saskatchewan. 26.3 seconds in this period. Looked like someone might have actually got teed up in the process there in front of the Rockyview bench as well. Referee doing the little signal off his hips and calling the 10-minute misconduct. Let's see if I'm correct about that or not. It'll be interesting to see here. If Rockyview has a man in the penalty box, this would be an absolutely massive break for the Rebels coming out of this timeout. Referee approaches the timekeeper's bench. Indeed, we do have a penalty assessed, a misconduct. Will there be a man in to serve? There should be. Apparently not. Got me confused a little bit here. Looks like we're going to stay 6-on-5. I'm going to pull this one back behind half. It's going to be Kerr who starts with it. 28 seconds on the clock. The Rebels need to find the tying goal. Goalie is on the bench. Beret steps in, tried to let a shot go there, and it ends up out of play. They're saying off Rockyview, Rebels ball. McCallion with it now, down to Beret. Beret going to step in close, and a nice stop there by Lowe. Rockyview comes up with it, trying to find their way down the floor with it. Staggerman plays that in, stolen away by the Rebels. 3 seconds to go. George steps in, lets it go, and that's going to go off a man and out of play. Did we have a timeout called in the process? This game is not over. Will they add time back onto the clock? We will find out. Just waiting to see what the plan is here. Things being talked over. 0.5 seconds on the clock as of right now. And it looks like a penalty shot awarded to Rockyview. So that will essentially do it for this game. But one last opportunity to talk here. Jacob Berg with the ball at center on the penalty shot. Berg will step in on Schmidt, and he'll miss the net. So that does it for this contest today between the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels and the visiting Rockyview Knights. It was interesting at the end. 2 goals for Peterson, 2 goals for George For the Rebels, it was Jack Johnston who led the way offensively with 3 of the 5 goals for Rockyview today. But their number 1 star in my book has to be Tyler Lowe. Ended up facing 53 shots, only allowing 4 to get by him. That's a hell of a save percentage, if you ask me. It's been an absolute pleasure. My name's Aiden Bolsgaard. Keenan Kenda is on the camera, and I'm going to send you off with some handshakes between the two teams. Don't forget to tune in next weekend on CROW LAX TV.